the 23rd of September 1906, Volume 7, How Operating for Christ Destroys the Human Work which Jesus makes rise again into a divine work. As I was in my usual state, Blessed Jesus came for a little while, and embracing me wholly, he told me, "My beloved daughter, operating for Christ and in Christ makes the human work disappear completely, because by operating in Christ, since Christ is fire, he consumes the human work, and after he has consumed the human work, his fire makes it rise again into a divine work. Therefore operate always together with me, as if we were both doing the same thing together. If you suffer, suffer as if you were suffering together with me. If you pray, if you work, do everything in me and with me. In this way you will lose the human works completely, and will find them again as divine. Oh, how many immense riches creatures could acquire, but they do not avail themselves of them." Having said this, he disappeared, and I remained with a great desire to see him again. Then I was outside of myself, and I kept looking for him everywhere, and not finding him, I said, "Ah, Lord, how cruel you are with a soul who is all for you, and who does nothing but suffer continuous death for love of you. See, my will is looking for you and not finding you. It dies continuously because it does not find you who have the life of my will. My desires die continuously because as they desire you and do not find you, they do not find their life. So, my breath, the heartbeats of my heart, my memory, my intellect, everything is undergoing cruel deaths, and you have no compassion for me." At that moment I came back into myself, and I found him within me. And as though wanting to give tit for tat, he kept saying, "See, I am all in you and all for you." He seemed to have the crown of thorns. He would push it onto his head and blood would come out, and he would repeat, "This blood I am shedding for love of you." He would show me his wounds and would add, "These all for you." Oh, how confused I felt, seeing that my love, compared to his, was nothing but a shadow. End of the reading.
The 23rd of September 1926, Volume 20. How one who must do universal goods must make up for all. The three planes of the will of God. I was fusing all of myself in the holy divine volition with the piercing in my soul of not having seen my sweet Jesus, while trying to do my acts in his will, since I did not feel him together with me. Oh, how I felt a piece of myself being torn away. So I felt my little and poor existence being torn to shreds without Jesus, and I prayed that he would have pity on me and come back quickly to my poor soul. Then, after much struggling, he came back, but so very afflicted because of the human perfidy. It seemed that nations upon nations were brawling amongst themselves, to the point of preparing deposits of weapons in order to fight against one another, preparing unexpected things to make battles arise. What madness, what human blindness. It seems that they no longer have sight to see good, order, harmony, but they have sight only to see evil. And this blindness makes them go off their heads, and so they do crazy things. So in seeing him so afflicted because of this, I said to him, "My love, leave this sadness. You will give them light, and they will not do it. And if my pains are needed, I am ready, as long as they all remain in peace." And Jesus, with dignity and severity, told me, "My daughter, I keep you for myself, to form in you my kingdom of the supreme fiat, not for them. I have made you suffer even too much to spare the world, but because of their perfidy, they do not deserve that I keep making you suffer for their sake." And while he was saying this, it seemed that he was holding an iron stick in his hands in the act of casting it over the creatures. I was frightened, and I wanted to relieve Jesus from his affliction. So I said to him, Jesus, my life, for now let us occupy ourselves with the kingdom of your will so that you may be relieved. I know that giving you field to let you speak about it is your joy, your feast. Therefore, your acts flow with me, within mine, so that with the light of your will, more than sun, they may invest all creatures, and I may constitute myself act for each act, thought for each thought. I will enclose everything. I will take all of their acts as though in my power, in order to do everything that they do, or that they do not do for you. And in this way, you will find everything in me, and your affliction will depart from your heart. And Jesus, condescending to my yearnings, went around together with me and told me, my daughter, what power my will contains. It penetrates everywhere as light. It expands. It gives itself to each act. It multiplies itself to infinity. But while it does so many things and multiplies in each thing, it remains always one, as it is, keeping all of its acts without dispersing even one of them. See, my daughter, the first plane done in my will in the name of and for all creatures was done by the sovereign queen, and she obtained for all creatures the highest good of making the longed-for Redeemer descend upon earth, one who acts for all in the name of all and makes up for all, earns universal goods that can serve all. The second plane done in my supreme will was done by my humanity. I embraced everyone and everything as if all were one. I satisfied for all. I left not even one active creature without constituting my act in it, so that the glory, the love, the adoration to my celestial Father might be complete for each active creature. And this impetrated the fruit of my coming upon earth. It earns salvation and sanctity for all. And if many do not take it, it is their fault, not fault of the giver. Therefore, my life impetrated universal goods for all, and I opened the gates of heaven for all. The third plane in my will be done by you, and this is why in everything you do, I make you act for all, embrace all, make up in the name of each of their acts. Your plane must be equal to mine. It must be unified to that of the celestial empress. And this will serve to impetrate the kingdom of the supreme fiat. Nothing must escape one who must do a universal good, so as to bind to all creatures the good she wants to give. In order to make up for all, the acts done in my will form double chains, but chains of light that are the strongest, the longest, not subject to breaking. No one can have the ability to break a chain of light. It is more than solar ray that no one can shatter, and even less bar its way to whatever place the length and width of the ray want to reach. And these chains of light bind God to give universal goods and the creature to receive them. End of the reading.
The 23rd of September, 1929, Volume 27. One who lives in the divine will, in her littleness, encloses the all and gives God to God. The divine prodigies. The divine will absorbs me in everything, and as much as I feel reluctance in writing, the omnipotent fiat with its empire imposes itself over me, a little creature, and with its divine lordship it conquers me. It knocks down my will, and placing it at its divine feet like a footstool, with its sweet and strong empire, it induces me to write a new volume, while I thought I would take a break. O adorable, ruling and holy will, since you want the sacrifice, I do not feel the strength to resist and to fight against you, but rather I adore your dispositions, and dissolving myself in your holy volition, I pray you to help me, to fortify my weakness, and not permit that I write anything but what you want and the way you want it. Oh, please, may I be your repeater, and may I add nothing of my own. And you, my love, in the sacrament, from that holy cell through which you look at me, and I look at you, do not deny me your help while I write, but come to write together with me. Only in this way will I feel the strength to begin. I was doing my usual round in the creation, to follow all the acts that the Supreme Volition had done in all created things. And my sweet Jesus, coming out from my interior, told me, "My daughter, when the creature goes through the works of her Creator, it means that she wants to recognize, appreciate, love what God has done for love of her. And having nothing to give him in return, while going through his works, she takes the whole creation, as though in the palm of her hand, and she gives it back to God, intact and beautiful, for his glory and honour, saying to him, I recognize you, I glorify you by means of your own works that alone are worthy of you." Now our delight in seeing ourselves recognized in our works by the creature is such and so great that we feel as if the creation were being repeated again to give us double glory. And since this double glory is given to us because the creature recognizes our works done for love of them and given to them as gift so that they would love us, by recognizing our gift, the creature encloses the all in the heaven of her soul, and we see within her littleness our divine being with all our works. More so, since our divine fiat being present in the littleness of this creature, she has capacity and space to be able to enclose the all. And, oh prodigy, to see the all enclosed in the human littleness, and to see her, brave, giving the all to the all, only to love him and glorify him. That the all of our Supreme Being be the all, there is nothing to be surprised about, because such is our divine nature to be all. But the all in the human littleness is the wonder of wonders. These are the prodigies of our divine volition, that wherever it reigns, it cannot make of our divine being a being by half, but the whole of it. And since the creation is nothing other than an outpouring of love for our creating fiat, wherever it reigns, it encloses all its works. And therefore the human littleness can say, I give God to God. This is why, then, when we give ourselves to the creature, we want everything, even her nothing, so that upon her nothing, our creative word may be repeated, and we may form our all over the nothing of the creature. If she does not give us everything, her littleness, her nothing, a creative word cannot be repeated, nor is it decorous and an honour for us to repeat it, because when we speak, we want to get rid of anything that does not belong to us, and when we see that she does not give herself completely, we do not make her our own, and so she remains the littleness and the nothing that she is, while we remain with the all that we are. After this, I continued my abandonment in the Supreme Fiat, but I felt sad because of certain things that it is not necessary to say on paper. And my always lovable Jesus, moved to compassion for me, clasped me in his arms, and all love told me, "Oh, how dear to me is the daughter of my will. Now you must know that sadness does not enter into my divine will. My will is perennial joy that renders the dwelling in which it reigns peaceful and happy. Therefore this sadness, though I know it is because of me, is old stuff from your human will, and my divine will does not receive the old stuff in your soul, because it has so many new things that the space of your soul is not enough to put them all in. So, out of your sadness, out. Oh, if you knew how many rare beauties my divine will forms in the soul, Wherever it reigns, it forms its heaven, its sun, its sea, and the little wind of its divine refreshment and freshness. Being the insuperable artisan, it has within itself the ability of the art of creation. And when it enters into the creature to form its kingdom, it has such a yearning to repeat its art, and so it lays the heavens within her. It forms the sun and all the beauties of creation. In fact, wherever it reigns, it wants its own things, and it forms them with its art, and it makes itself be surrounded by works worthy of my fiat. Therefore, the beauty of the soul in whom it reigns is indescribable. Does this not all happen also in the human order? When someone does a work, by doing it he does not lose his art. The art remains inside the creature as his own property, and he has the virtue of repeating his work as many times as he wants to repeat it. And if the work is beautiful, he yearns to have the occasion to repeat his work. Such is my divine will. The work of creation is beautiful, majestic, sumptuous, full of order and unspeakable harmony. Therefore it keeps looking for the occasion to repeat it, and this occasion is given to it by the souls who give it possession to let it dominate and extend its kingdom within themselves. Therefore courage. Move away from you anything that does not belong to my divine fiat, that it may be free in its divine work. Otherwise, you would form clouds around yourself that would prevent my light from expanding and shining in your soul with its refulgent rays. End of the reading. There are no more readings today. Have a blessed day.